Let's jump into our first round leaders. I'll go first with this one. I'm going to go with the guy that you just mentioned there, Rory McIlroy, at 16-1. I don't have him really anywhere else on my card, so this just seems like the right spot for me to go ahead and use him. Rory knows his place. His game right now is just really, really sharp. And regardless, if he starts early or he starts late, I think that he's always a threat to go ahead and become the first round leader. Now, he will start later in this round, so I'm going to go ahead and put him out there for a first round leader. He has some very low rounds to his credit here at Augusta. We both know, and everybody else out there knows, that he wants to go ahead and win a green jacket. And in order for him to do that, I think he has to go ahead and start out fast, and at least he'll know kind of what he needs to do here when he starts out later in the day. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put Rory in there because I don't have him anywhere on my card, and we know how strong he is in the first round. So first round leader for me, Rory McIlroy, 16-1. And then I'm going to go with a live guy. I'm going to go with Patrick Reed here at 60-1. I'll talk a little bit more about Reed when we get further on down the card, but I wanted a longer shot guy that was kind of like a sleeper that nobody might be looking at here. He simply could go ahead and put himself to go ahead and be a first round leader. The dude is razor sharp when it comes to the putter. I'm going to go ahead and give him a shot here, but like I said, further on down the card, I do like Patrick Reed quite a bit here. So those are two I'm going to give out there. Uncle Dave, Rory McIlroy 16-1, Patrick Reed 60-1 for my first round leaders. What do you got?
Yeah, I got a lot going on here, Sleepy. Look at last year's first round. The top five on the board. It was four or five anyway. It was Bryson, Scotty, Max, and Nikolai Hogard on day one, and Cam Young was ninth on day one. And 2 years ago, it was Rahm, Kepka, Hovland, and Cam Young was third. Scotty was three back for what it's worth. Scotty was also third on day one in 2022. So two things here. Scotty hasn't wasted much time at Augusta, and Cam Young has some value. So I'm going to use both of those, but I'm going to use Scotty top five after round one at plus 150. I mean, I just, he's rounded into form. You got to do it. So that one's an easy one. But Cam Young at 70-1 first round leader and top 10 after the first round at plus 650. I mean, I mentioned Young a second ago, and he's been T7 and T9 here over the last 2 years. And to be brutally honest, I bet him even before I knew he went out at 802. So there is that. I don't know if that's confirmation or I'm looking at these things being too easy, but there it is. And another guy that's been near the top more often than not on day one is Zalatoris. So I bet him 45-1 first round leader and T10 after round one at 4-1. And this is a guy I also bet before seeing the early tee time. And one more is, and I mentioned him a second ago, Nikolai Hogard, first round leader 80-1, top 10 first round at plus 750. He was going to be on my card somewhere. He's got the skill set for this course. But he was in the top six all 3 days last week before Sunday last year, and actually had a brief lead on Saturday. And of course, I love his tee time, and another one I hadn't planned on him going out early. I've oftentimes used Cantlay. I'm not going to. He's been around on Thursdays at Augusta quite a bit, but after what I watched him do last week in San Antonio, I just can't because it was pretty much an epic collapse from a great start, which it wasn't just one round, it was all three, which means you should probably bet him, but I am not. And another one, maybe, I was looking for a diamond in the rough, but Colin Morikawa top 10 after round one. I mean, we know this course tests your whole game, and I'm simply taking golfers with a well-rounded game that have a history here. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, even in the first round. I mean, history says we're just not seeing it, so that's where I opted to put Morikawa for the time being as top 10 after the first round.
All right, well, there you guys go. Handful of first round leaders and some first round picks there from Uncle Dave.